Well, friends, the nuclear option looks like it's going to be triggered. Now, it hasn't been yet, but we're starting to see indications that this is going to happen as soon as the U.S. Senate comes back. Now, what am I talking about? The nuclear option. The U.S. Senate has the filibuster rule, which has been slowly eroded and stripped away. We're about to see it stripped away even further. And this is going to infuriate Democrats to no end, but they have been abusing their power so much. And remember, they're the first ones who start removing the filibuster's sacredness, and they started to peel back what the filibuster could be used on and what it can't be. And now they're eating their own words. All right, friends, this is going to be a huge, big change. It's going to impact Washington, D.C. It's going to impact the United States, and it's going to impact your life very, very shortly. Let's talk about it. We've got some big names out there coming out in support of this. This is something that looks like it's about to happen. All right, friends, welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and we're discussing the things the mainstream media just won't cover in order to keep you guys ahead of the curve. We want to let you know the things that are about to happen before they happen, and let's just say we've had a pretty good track record on this channel for sure. All right, friends, so the thing that we're talking about is the filibuster for presidential nominees. Now, President Trump's been having a world of trouble getting his nominees through the Senate because the Senate Democrats have literally opposed every single one of them except for one. Marco Rubio, who used to be a senator himself, and there's this rule in the Senate that they will always nominate, or they will always confirm previous senators. They're supposed to be like a good old boys club or whatever. And so Marco Rubio got approved mostly just because he was a previous senator. Apart from that, they would not have gone easy on him either. Every single other presidential nominee by President Trump has been filibustered by the Democrats. Every single one. When you start thinking about that, you say, well, okay, did the Republicans do the same thing to Joe Biden's nominees? The answer is no. The Republicans filibustered about 57% of all of Joe Biden's appointments. So they were basically looking at them and saying, no, this one is too crazy. We can't confirm that one. They're just not qualified. They're a horrible choice. We got to stop that. And others, they said, okay, we'll allow this to go for a vote. We're going to vote against them, but we will at least allow it to go to a vote. That has been the gentleman's club agreement in the Senate that used the filibuster when there's an absolute crisis or something that you really object to. And the fact that the Republicans filibuster 57% of President Biden's nominees was unprecedented, except for what the Democrats did to the Republicans during the first Trump administration. They filibustered basically everything there too. So we're now at a position where the Democrats are not playing fair with the filibuster. All they're doing is they're just holding up everything, and they're trying to extort massive stacks of cash. Is it that crude? Are they that unprincipled? Yeah, basically. They want billions and billions and billions of dollars of money to go to liberal causes in exchange for them to approve 10 of President Trump's hundreds of nominees that are waiting to be confirmed by the U.S. Senate. So they're trying to slow walk this as much as possible and make this downright impossible for the President Trump to get his nominees through. Now, the Senate has been doing a fantastic job. The Republicans in the Senate have been ramrodding things through as best they can. They've been just pushing things through as hard as they can. And they've been getting a lot of President Trump's nominees out. But the Democrats are fighting tooth and nail on every single appointment, on every single priority. There's just no give with them whatsoever. And that is why just last week, Senator Tom Cotton got up and actually, I guess it was, it was early this week, on the weekend. Senator Tom Cotton got up and gave a speech saying that we're going to blow up the filibuster. You guys across the aisle are causing so many problems. You guys started this of ripping the filibuster to shreds, and then you're now abusing the filibuster, leaving us no choice but to use the rules change to remove the filibuster from political appointments. This would then require basically 50 senators to approve of a presidential nominee, and then J.D. Vance could break the tie to be the 51st. And that's all that they would need to then approve basically everyone that President Trump has nominated. And that will be a very low, easy bar to clear. And they could just shut down discussions and speeches and such. They'll probably allow some speeches. They need to allow the Democrats to speak and air their voice on things. But to let them to just stop all Senate business because they want to throw a temper tantrum all the time is not really productive and not really in the spirit of things. So why are we here? Well, they just began their August recess, and President Trump was like, I need these 10 nominees before you go on recess. They also had another major priority that they needed to work on that they didn't get to, which is we have a budget shutdown at the end of September. September 30th, there's a shutdown cliff where if they don't pass a budget resolution with the U.S. House, a continuing resolution, then there's no budget and no funding happens. So that can't work. So they need to get that done by September 30th. But, senators need their vacation, so they need to take about a month-long August recess. Now, I say vacation. It's not really a vacation. They have to go back to their home districts. They got to do work there, like fundraising. So they got to go back to their home districts and do stuff there. Some senators don't really do anything at all, but a lot of senators are very hardworking in their staffs and everything. But anyway, they needed to do their August recess. And President Trump's like, I really need these 10 nominees to get done before the recess. Well, what they did was they did a marathon session. If you're going to filibuster us, you got to filibuster it 24 hours a day until you guys either pass out or repass out. Anyway, so President Trump asking for these nominees to come through. They did that. They were able to get the 10 nominees voted on finally after, was it like 4 or 5 days of just trying to break the filibuster up by the Democrats, forcing them to give the speeches, forcing them to show up and keep voting, vote until finally and that was what the Democrats wanted. They wanted billions and billions of dollars for agreed to be in the next funding bill or whatever for a bunch of liberal priorities. They wanted money. They wanted cash. And they held up every single thing, all the government operations, the Senate business, doing this, just throwing a temper tantrum because they wanted $1 billion of cash. So Senator Tom Cotton got up finally and said, we're done with this. We've tried to humor you. We've tried to respect the traditions of the Senate, but you guys started stripping the filibuster away because you said there's no other way. Well, now there is literally no other way for us to get these appointments through other than give you guys what you want, what you're holding us ransom for. We have to start conceding to all of your demands, or we need to blow up the filibuster. And he said, fine, we'll do it. You guys have forced us to do it. We're going to do it. President Trump out there absolutely supporting that and saying, do not give in to their demands. This is outrageous and ridiculous. He said that they can go to HE double hockey stick on his on his Truth Social or whatever, saying that don't make the deal. It's not proper. President Trump has been asking them to blow up the filibuster for months now to approve his nominees, and it looks like the Senate is finally there. They're finally ready to do that. The Republicans are just done. They're going to do it. So what does this mean for everything else? We've already seen it was the Democrats that stripped the filibuster from judicial nominees, and then the Republicans stood on the floor of the House of the Senate and said, "One day you're going to one day's coming forward, you're going to regret this." A few years later, when they were looking to approve the Supreme Court nominee, that's when they blew up the filibuster for the Supreme Court nominees. The Republicans said, "You said judicial nominees, we're going to say all judicial nominees, including Supreme Court justices." Boom. If you can jam your judge down our throat, we can jam a Supreme Court judge down your throat. And that's what they did. And the Democrats just lost their minds. And if you can change the filibuster rules, well, then you can just change the filibuster rules, right? And now we're at a case where we're looking at, well, maybe not just judicial nominees, but maybe just all nominees are immune to the filibuster. So maybe that's just the way it should go. And it looks like the Senate Republicans are about to do that. Now, they're going to be gone until the very beginning of September on recess. When they come back, one, they need to blow up the nominee filibuster rule. That's going to be a vote, a majority vote. Then after that, they need to somehow get this budget resolution together, this continuing resolution together with the House of Representatives before September 30th so that the government doesn't shut down again. Though, of course, if you're anything like me, you're like, let it shut down. Let's just let it shut down. We don't really need the government for that much. What does the federal government do for us? Does it provide water, electricity? No, it doesn't do any of those things. So we're going to see what happens when they come back in session. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. Should we have this filibuster on nominees, or should we just allow 51% or 51 majority of senators vote to bring in nominees? Let me know what your thoughts are down below. But we don't have Thune, Senator Thune, Majority Leader Senator Thune, weighing in on this just yet. We don't have an explicit word from him that he's going to seek the repeal of that. But Senator Tom Cotton is not so much a loose cannon out there. So when he speaks, it's usually kind of fairly mainstream with the Republican thought process. So if he's saying it out there, it did seem like that was kind of like a shot across the bow, a final, like, you guys need to start playing ball or else we're going to do this, you know. And I wouldn't be surprised if Senator Thune kind of asked Tom Cotton to kind of to throw that shot just so that they could see it coming. And they did not heed that warning. They still want to hold out on their cash to get it. And the Republicans are like, no game. You're not going to extort us for money in order to hold up nominations that you have an obligation to consider and to either approve or disapprove. You don't get to just hold them up indefinitely because you want to throw a hissy fit because you want more money. So we'll see what happens when they come back from the August recess, but it looks like that may happen. And if that happens, then we're going to see a bunch of nominees gliding through in groups of 10 and 20. We're going to see the nominees getting approved. Once they get approved quickly, we're going to see the Senate really focusing in on new priorities. Judicial nominees, that's a big one there. We need to get a whole bunch of people on the courts. That is something we're looking for. We're going to be seeing, as we talked about this morning, the new census that's supposed to happen. This is a big deal here too, to have the Senate's support and the House of Representatives support for a new census. There is a bill in the House that is floating around. If they can get that through the Senate as well, get it through the House and the Senate, calling for a new census that follows the guidelines of only U.S. citizens being counted, that could really change the balance of power for a very long time in the House of Representatives, make it a red house for a long time. And as we see things shift more towards the Republicans, then we're going to see the opportunity for there to be more of a factioning inside the Republican Party between the rhinos, Republicans in name only, and the conservative libertarian fronts. Are they going to be able to form a whole new party? Well, if the Democratic Party gets shifted more and more out of the limelight, then that opens up the possibility for a more pure party to form that will self-govern itself, to hold its members accountable to conservative principles, America First principles, if you want to call them Make America Great principles, MAGA principles. We may see a MAGA-type party. I don't think that Elon Musk was really on the right track of how to do that. What needs to happen is that the broad tent needs to expand enough that the Democrats get pushed out completely of the Senate and get completely pushed out of the House of Representatives, enough that there's room for two parties to really kind of go at it, two new parties. All right, what do you guys think? Are we just going to just have to deal with the Republicans for a very long time and try to just elect the right ones, or are we going to actually see another party form here in the midst of all this? All right, friends, let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. Appreciate you guys stopping by for the video. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up there. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report out.